My John Deere 2010 gas tractor was a handy little unit, as it would be used for many light chores around my farm where large amounts of horsepower was not a necessity. Because of its light weight, I had decided that trying to mount any type of agricultural dozer blade on the front of this small tractor would be a complete waste of time and money. So every winter I would either clear the snow out of my yard by hand, or when it became too much, I would enlist the help of a neighbor who had brought over his dozer-equipped John Deere 4010. It wasn't until April of 1974, after struggling all winter with mountains of snow, that I realized I needed to find an alternative. And so in November of that year, I purchased a John Deere Model 260 snowblower from my local dealer. As the blower was a 3-point hitch design, and my 2010 lacked that option, it took almost another year to find all the necessary linkage, plus the qualified expertise of a machinist welder, to construct the necessary accessories that would marry together both tractor and snowblower. I was able to take advantage of the extra weight that the blower applied to the rear axle of the tractor, and this enabled me to dig into some fair-sized snowdrifts. Each winter from 1975 to 1981, my 2010 would be kept busy after every prairie snowstorm, creating its own white mini tornado. Over the years, I had grown tired of always looking over my shoulder while sitting sideways in the driver's seat, so the decision was made to use my 3020 and 148 front-end loader to handle any snow-clearing problems. Unfortunately, it didn't take very long before I realized I had made a mistake, and I came to the conclusion that for my situation, the snowblower was far superior to the front-end loader. It was at this point in time that I tossed around the idea of possibly mounting the 3-point hitch snowblower to the front-end loader in one format or another, and after lengthy consultation with an expert machinist, he recommended and installed heavy brackets to the base of my snowblower that conformed exactly to the same brackets that were located on my bucket. At the same time, he also worked with me in designing a drive system that would utilize the front mid-PTO of my tractor. It was in this area that two major obstacles stood in our way. The first was the fact that the gearbox on the snowblower was configured for 540 RPM, whereas the PTO on my tractor was set for 1000 RPM only. The second issue that we had to contend with was that this PTO shaft turns in opposite directions when viewed in a head-on position. Eventually, we were able to build a working design that solved both problems at once, and it was certainly capable of handling the extra power that this 3020 provided. I will admit that the final product did require a bit of tweaking. One of the most important was a safety arm that I installed that prevented the snowblower from raising more than approximately a foot above the ground. This was necessary, as if I wasn't careful and inadvertently raised the front-end loader too high, the end result would be the PTO being pulled apart. The free-spinning shaft most likely would cause catastrophic damage to the underside of the tractor, but with the safety arm in place, this was avoided. All that was necessary now, as soon as the white stuff started falling from the heavens, was to pull out the 4 pins that held my bucket to the arms of the front-end loader, drive over to the blower, tap those 4 pins back into the framework on the blower, hook up the drive shaft to the tractor, and once again any and all troublesome snowflakes would be evicted from my yard. I continued with this arrangement for many years and was quite satisfied with the working performance of both machines. But by 1999, I had felt that my hard-working 148 loader, which had served me well for over 20 years, should be replaced. It was then that I purchased a 725 loader to be installed on my John Deere 4455 tractor. all the while knowing that now my snowblower would be totally incompatible with this larger tractor. Since I had no intentions of ever going without a snowblower again, I built an A-frame beneath my 3020 that effectively joined together the tractor and blower assembly. Very few alterations were needed in the drive system in which to power the blower. The only major change were the brackets that had to be configured in order to provide the raising of the blower as well as to angle it. For these important functions, I simply incorporated John Deere hydraulic cylinders that were just sitting in my shed and basically collecting dust. With the application of some green paint, this new combination was ready to provide another 14 years of service on my farm prior to the arrival of my 4020. I thank you for watching.